Hey, welcome back. Let me stop the music. Welcome back. My name is Jeff Fritz. Hello, hello. How's it going out there? Welcome back to the live stream. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be where you are. How's it going? Great to see you. I hope you're having a great weekend. I've got my Philadelphia Fusion hat on today because they beat those Washington Justice in the Overwatch League yesterday. And I was pretty happy to see that. Today they take on Shanghai, which feels weird. As a longtime North American sports fan, to see Philadelphia versus Shanghai just feels different. That's not something I kind of expect, you know. Stelzy.
Steelty79 just resubscribed for 9 months. Hey, 9 months already. Time flies.
Now, why am I getting the echo? Where's that echo coming from? Thanks so much for the resub. I really appreciate that. And I'm looking for the echo. I don't see it. Right? Did we hear the echo? How's it going there, chat room? I'm going to find that in just a second here. Good morning, Copper Beardy, Raphael. Good morning, Tagaron. Good afternoon out there. Ultramark is here. Good day. Nothing else matters. Good to see you. Surly Dev. Hello, hello. Svava. What mischief indeed are we going to get into today? Oh, wait till you see. No. So good to see you. Is that Rafalt? Good afternoon. And we already said thank you to Stelzy. Sean, hello, hello. Veronica, great to see you. And good morning, Lannon. Hello, hello. Hope you like the new look, the new layout, and some of the visuals that we've got here. I've tried to simplify, make it a little bit easier to follow along so that we don't have as much going on screen at the same time. Just looking here. Is there something I'm missing? No. Do I have Stream Elements up somewhere else and it's echoing? Ozdy, hello. Welcome. Nice to meet you. Thanks so much for joining us. I don't see it. We'll keep an eye out for that. You love C# and you're getting a job with C++. That's great. More power to you. We're always excited to hear folks getting an update, a change in their career, something that they're excited about. More power to you. Always want to celebrate those events. Going to code on Linux with Visual Studio Code. Terrific. Alfred Office Desk. Hello. Welcome. iFusion. Nah, just regular Philadelphia Fusion today. So I've been working on, I've been thinking about, I know. Oh my, indeed. I've been thinking about our distributed chatbot and how we were building extensions for this chatbot, things that would live in separate projects, and we would load dynamically into the main project as they were needed. And the more and more that I thought about that, the more and more that I explored and said, well, wait, does this actually work? Is this actually possible? And I ran into issues. So I want to show you what I found. And then, I said it. I want to show you what I found.
And then?
Talk through remediation that we're going to have to do.
And then?
Go back to writing our next feature as part of this. Thank you. As part of this bot, as part of this delivery of widgets, so we can merge together all these different considerations. All right? So I hope you join me. I hope you stick around because I think we're going to have a lot of fun doing a little bit of refactoring here, a little bit of code deletion. And if there's one thing that, as a developer, we'll do some code deletion and then we'll write some more code. But if there's one thing as a developer you should be happy about, you should consider something that's a wise choice, is when you get the opportunity to delete code. It's one thing to comment out code, but when you get to delete code because it's not needed anymore and you've written something better, you get to celebrate that you've made an improvement. And that's a good thing. I see what you're trying to do there with all the and-thens. Ha! No. Some criticism for the new layout. I find the follower goal text too squashed. The follower goal over here. Not terrible. Not yeah. I can agree with that. The text is already out of the banner in the black region above. What do you mean? Oh, it kind of bleeds into it. Yeah, I tried to drag it down a little bit so that it was underneath of it. PRs with no code additions and only deletions is great. Yes, I completely agree. Hello there, IH developer. Welcome. Am I on? You can see it fine on laptop on Chrome. Okay. So let me show you a little bit of what I was running into and what I was considering here, and we can move forward with the discussion a bit. Let me get some music first off playing in the background here today. I'm a big fan of My Philadelphia Fusion. They wear orange. So we're going to play some orange today.
Have just resubscribed for 13 months.
Thanks so much for the resub, Johan. I appreciate that, and we'll make a donation. I'm still working on, I've got to wait till we get back to the office on Monday, but I'm working on getting the appropriate corporate match information for all of our donations that we make here to technical charities. So once I have that nailed down, I will announce who the new charity is. Thank you so much, but we will be making a donation to an international charity this quarter. All right. 13 months. Absolutely. That's a lot. I really appreciate you being with us. All right. Let me head over. So I mentioned this is Orange from Music to Code By, written by our friend, Mr. Carl Franklin. It's been scientifically designed. It's engineered to get you in the groove, to get you focused on whatever task it is that you might be working on. Check it out, Music to Code By. That's mtcb.pwop.com, where you can execute the music command, just like Surly Dev did there in the chat room. And you can learn all about the music and where you can get it online. You love you some MTCB. Nice. It's great stuff. All right, moving on. And that'll pick up a little bit there, the music. Let's head over to our code. There it is. So I was looking at our issues that we've been filling out here, and more importantly, I went over to the code here and I saw this, and this kind of got me a little concerned. I saw that the Azure Pipelines pill here says that the build failed. This is a notification icon that comes out of our continuous integration system, right? This builds every commit that we make into source control. Every time there's a change, build it. Make sure that it works. Run the tests with it. Make sure they work. And if they do work, put a little green test flag here. Test passed flag here. If they don't, mark it with failed. So we've got this pill here that's saying it failed building. Well, why did it fail building? So I clicked through and I went and looked at the build, and this is the last commit that I made the other day. And I have a failure down here in the build as it's trying to compile, and it's got a ton of stuff going on here, all kinds of messages, lots of warnings on versions and things don't match and blah 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 blah. Right? Darn it. And I started to, and I didn't want to. I wanted to figure out exactly what it was. So I scrolled down here and I found the first red line, and see, it looks like it should be right about there, but it's not. This is actually matching up here. It's down there. See, it doesn't quite line up with this thing, which was weird the first time that I used this in Azure DevOps, but the scroll bar doesn't match this over here. They're two different things, and that's a little bit weird, but okay. So when I scroll down into this area, right, it says we had an error. The process, blah, 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 failed with, well, why did it fail? Check this out. I was trying to execute an X copy because I wrote the command to publish our extension that's written in this standard features library. So once it gets compiled, we were trying to publish that extension into a location that it could be found by our main application. Well, this standard features extension being copied out, right, we're doing that because we're not directly referencing this library. Not directly referencing is different, right? It means we have to dynamically create everything. It means that we have to dynamically identify, locate, and create things in our code. So we can't just directly reference and say, okay, put one of these things here on the screen. That's tricky. Let me take a look at the chat room here before I continue my story. Looks like not ideal on Twitch desktop application and also on Xbox. It is only about 1 to 3 pixels too high. You're talking about the follower goal text over there. I'm not going to modify it right now, but we'll take care of that before next time. The end-in text is, yeah, it's just a little bit high. All right. I will take that as a note to fix. Okay. So this is trying to do a copy. So I thought, oh, well, I could do a publish, a .NET publish when this is done building and publish it into the other folder. But I'm still going to run into an issue where I'm operating system dependent because this navigation, check it out, this is on a Linux machine and it's doing a publish from /, and I've hard-coded in backslashes. So I need to be able to locate and find those things and make sure that I publish properly. That's a pain in the neck. More so, as I continue to build features, I want to build user interface parts that go with it. Like we're intending to build our first component is a chat, the chat room widget that appears on video. Right, as just a proof of concept to make sure that it works, and then, I said it.
And then
We'll bring over all the really cool features that we've already built and put them into the application, including that custom cheer bar, sentiment analysis, and some of those other great features. But I need then to be able to create and place those user interface components on a web page that are going to be called. So how do we do that? How can we load those things dynamically? Well, they're Blazor component libraries, and you can put them inside of a project, right? I can create a Blazor library here, and I can include that inside of a project. That's great. How do you dynamically add those and put those on a page? Well, you can't. Rambling Geek, thanks so much for that resub. 11 months!
Just resubscribed for 11 months.
I
Wow.
know!
Months, D.
It's amazing. Thank you so much, Rambling Geek. I really appreciate the sub, and we will make a donation. Thank you very, very much for that. So, you add the shared component here, and you reference it with a tag like that. You can't dynamically pass in, here's the name of the component that I want, and create it and put it at this location. More so, when it comes time to configure this, I would need to do a lot of reflection to build out and create a page that has, here's all the configuration for this widget, for this feature, right? To dynamically go and identify all those properties, paint them on the screen, receive those, and dynamically put them back into, because I can't, right? I don't know where these things are and how they run. So what do I do? How do we do this? And I also looked at, well, all right, how do we do a Razor UI class library? And we can do this, and there were some folks that had ways to instantiate these and add them into a project.
Mr. Magoo just resubscribed for 15 months. So sad I had a gap in my subs.
Thank you, Sequel Mr. Magoo. I appreciate that sub as well. And yes, we'll make another donation to a tech charity. Thank you very, very much for that. So I'm going to fight the framework to make this work also. Okay. There's ways that you can use the Activator Utilities class to dynamically instantiate things using the service provider, the dependency injection container, right? The thing that holds references to here's all the types that are available inside the project, so that I can get an appropriate object, that feature object created for me, and work with it. But what do I do with it at that point? Right? I can have a standard interface. I'm going to be fighting the framework again to put that behind some sort of a user interface and instantiate and reference that living in some other folder, some other project. So, thinking, I'm not really going to be receiving extensions from third parties that aren't going to be compiled and loaded into this. I'm going to know all the extensions, all the features that we add. GamerWiz, thanks so much for the follow. I appreciate you joining us. And thanks so much for the resub.
Always just resubscribed for 2 months.
Thank you very much for that.
Oh my.
Oh my, indeed. So I ran into all of this and thought, well, if nobody's building extensions, I'm not going to accept extension class libraries from a third party. If I'm building all of these, it's okay for me to put direct references. If I put a direct reference to these libraries, and I don't want to put them directly into the project so that I can have that separation, so that hopefully in the future at some point we have folks able to send pull requests into different projects and they aren't affecting the main operation, the main orchestrator project that runs the bot. So I think that's going to be the way to go. Let's set up a direct reference, be able to split these out into separate features, projects, and put direct references to those so that we load them directly. We know where they're going to live, and we can put host pages and host configuration together that looks elegant, right, and appropriate for those features. And I think that's going to be the way to solve this problem. And if we need to in some point in the future, and if the framework is a little bit easier to work with to do those things, we'll move them out into more dynamically loaded features. Let me take a look back at the chat room here because I've rambled for a little bit. Okay. Binary Chef is here. Hello, hello. And Simon Jeering, good to see you. So I'm going to start refactoring here. I want to pull out this dynamic loading that we were doing in the plugin Bootstrapper. We were dynamically locating DLLs, libraries that contained all of our features, and loading them up at this point. I don't need to do that if I put a direct reference in. Instead, what I'm going to do is just look at the various libraries that are loaded and go find those objects that are an I feature, like down here.
Wait, Master. It might be dangerous.
It won't be dangerous. We've already checked this in. We've already got our code saved into source control. So I'm just going to start deleting code here. Remove the reference to the plugins manager because we aren't dynamically loading things. And we should be able to start building, build that user interface and hook it up to the message event handler today. Sound good? I hate to bother, but the panels say Rainbow Beard is on and I see no colors. No, it is not on. The challenge is on. Brose, good to see you, Brose. And if we get to 8,000, there's the follower goal over there. If we get to 8,000 followers before September 15th, I will dye the beard rainbow. And it'll be dyed rainbow for .NET Conf and TwitchCon. They're both the same week. It's going to be amazing. Irony with that is that we come back in parts the service locator anti-pattern. By the way, I find that pattern useful when you know its disadvantages of the pattern. Yes. Follower goal without title now. You folks really want me to fix that follower goal entry there, don't you? You really, really want me to clean that up. Let me see if I can do something real quick here. My gosh. My lord. Let's see what we can do. This should be pretty easy to do. Because... let them do a PR if it bothers... you can't do a PR into that. It doesn't work like that. Alright, so this... Rainbow Beard for .NET Conf and TwitchCon 2019. And I will scoot that down just a smidge. Where is it? Position. I think that'll do. How's that? You know what? I can push it down one more pixel, I think. And we're still in good shape. There we go. I think that's in better shape now. All right. You like that? Now it's got the title over there and you can see it. It's scooted down a little bit. All right. You got nominated to be a collaborator on a GitHub project this week. Congratulations, Surly Dev. Yeah. Let's, where'd it go? Let's
make it so.
There we go. All right. So let's start deleting some of this code. Let's start making it easier to work with this. Yes, it is a little bit of an anti-pattern, and we'll make it a little bit more friendly to load up all these features.
And then?
We'll go back to the new message actor and make sure that it gets the feature loaded properly. So first thing I'm going to do, well, I'm going to delete and change the references here so we get the direct reference.
And then?
I'll start deleting code because it'll break. So I'm going to add a reference to start with here to a project, and I'm going to reference the standard features is the first extension project we built. What? Would cause a circular dependency. Really? No. Oh, wait. I was in core. I wasn't in orchestrator up here. My bad. Wrong project. Add a direct reference to that. Good. And I'm going to go in here and find the plugins and delete that reference. That's fine. Now, we should see a bunch of things break, right? This doesn't work, so let's get rid of that. We should see a bunch of red start appearing here, like right there. Why aren't they appearing in my gutter over here with the locations? I don't know. Let's see. Come on, build. Yes, my build should fail. Name plugin loader. That's right. So these don't exist. Now we've got to do a search across our loaded assemblies and see if the I feature is referenced, right? We need to go find that inside of the project. Inside of the assembly that we're loading, right? So I don't really need that. I'm not sure I even need this. It's not for each loader in loaders. And I'm not doing a load default assembly get types. I'm going to say for each, I'm going to call it just A, right? Assembly in, I need to get the loaded assemblies, the currently loaded assemblies. So the currently loaded assemblies are going to be in, can I go like this?
Martin Van Stam just resubscribed for 4 months. Time to sub again, D.
Hey, Martin, thanks so much for that resub. I really appreciate it. Connor, thanks so much for hosting the stream. I really appreciate it. Everyone who hosts, auto hosts, raids, it's really great stuff.
Everything is awesome.
It is. When folks do share our content, share our stream, it's really great stuff that to share the love, to share a little bit of what we're working on here. I should be able to get all the assemblies that are running here. Right? It's in the current memory space. So there's a way to... Why am I blanking on this? There is a way to get all of the currently loaded assemblies. Right? Reflection, get currently loaded assemblies. I forget how to do this. There is a way to do this. How do I list all loaded assemblies? Yes, thank you. App domain, current domain, get assemblies. But I don't think app domain is a thing anymore. Current domain. Maybe it is. Right? Get assemblies. Fantastic. All right, so I've got a collection of them. Why not use Bing? I like using DuckDuckGo because it's written and managed by a group of folks who actually live right near me. So I want to support those local technologists in how they're working on their project. And if I want to jump over to Bing, right? Now I'm on Bing. Boom. Boom with the Bing. Bing to ba with the bicky with the... I forget how that works. DuckDuckGo has the nice bang commands. Yes, Chandler, bing! Yeah, that's a thing. All right.
Put the candle back.
Yeah, we're going to put it back right over here. So for each assembly in this, I'm going to say... assembly get types where type of iFeature is assignable, blah, 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 blah. So that's going to be my... Right, I want to add that to my out type collection, right? This is going to give me a collection of types. So, I've got an extra parenthesis there. So let's say out type collection, add range. All right, so now I've got those types that are assignable from iFeature. Why not use Alta Vista? Yeah, why not use Alta Vista? Why shouldn't I use Alta Vista, right? Come on now, Pluto Nan. Come on. I see what you're trying to do there. I see it. Martin, what to do? Keep watching or jump over to watch World Champion Soccer. Oh, is it? Yeah, it's U.S. Netherlands. When I'm sitting here watching streams in the middle of the day, in the evening, it's amazing. I'll have 3 or 4 streams up, and I'll just, depending on what's going on, I'll set the volume level appropriately on them each independently. Yeah, the final match. So, right, and credit to the American ladies who were saying, why are there 3 major FIFA championships, soccer championships, football championships, depending on where you're from? But why are there 3 major championships on the same day? You've got the Women's World Cup final, you've got the Gold Cup final, and you've got the Copa America final. That's a problem. Connor, gonna head off and get something to eat. All right, take care, Connor. Thanks so much for joining us. So I'm now grabbing that collection of features, and features being returned as an IEnumerable of some type. Good. I'm no longer using that loader to go find these things. So that's going to give me my collection of features. They're stored off. These are the various types that we know how to interact with. I don't need this anymore. So I'm going to make this just a closed constructor there. I really could delete it. You don't need to have this declared constructor here because it's not doing anything. So that's kind of the default here. Get features for a stream event. This is looking at the features, and it's going to identify, here are the features to create. Identify the features that interact with the stream event requested. Okay. And this instantiate the features that match the requested. No, that handle, that interact with the stream event requested. I could break this into 2 methods here, but these are really, when you look at it, they're 2 parts of the same feature, the same interaction here. Why not use Yahoo? Is today the day of dead search engines? Yahoo isn't dead. It's really not used. Okay. So we're going to return that collection of features. Now, this is using activator create instance right here to create those feature objects. This is pure what's called reflection for those of you who don't use .NET or don't use object-oriented languages. By doing this, you're literally saying, go create something. I don't know exactly what type it is, but that type is defined inside this variable, right? I would say, right, var my feature equals new, and inside of that standard Where did it go? Where did it go? Standard features. There it is. Chat room feature, right? I would say new chat room feature, right? That's the way that I would normally create this with C#. But I don't know if I want to create that type or I want to create a different type. So I need to do it dynamically. And that's why we're doing this little bit of analysis. We're deciding which features we need to load. And we're going to make those available by dynamically creating them here. Now, calling activator create instance here is a little bit of right, that reflection is, it's not going to necessarily give me the fully hydrated, the fully activated object with all the things that I need. I could pass in the dependency injection container here and use that to create so that it finds the appropriate services that it relies on. Care Bear cream, is that something you rub on your skin when you're growing Care Bears or something? Thanks so much for joining us. You call reflection the black magic of C#. It's interesting. Reflection's something that is very powerful to dynamically create objects and pass them around. So, all right, let's leave this the way it is here. I may need to change this so that it uses the service provider in the future, but for right now, I'm okay with that.
Chris Jones just resubscribed for 2 months. Hey at Sharp Fritz and chat. And I've made it to 12 months. C# hype bot Robert 68 HECC themic 5 hype C# Skippy C# clip.
Nice. Thanks so much, Chris. Welcome to a full year with us. That is awesome. I really appreciate that. And we should all... Yeah, we should freak out a little bit. That's pretty cool. I really appreciate that, and we'll make another donation to our next tech charity. All right, let's, now that this is created, I should be able to go back and start better integrating and referencing from my new message actor over here. We were going through this whole concept around configuration and what's involved with configuration. How does it interact with that, and how does it get passed back and forth? So when my features are created, so this object, all right, it's being referenced in 3 places. Let's make sure this is referenced in only those 3 places. So it's going to load the features dynamically as soon as it's first referenced. Good. There is a private bootstrapper, plugin bootstrapper reference that's kept here at the channel actor. That's okay, because we'll have one set of these for each channel, channel that we're managing on Twitch. That's okay too. Didn't even know about developers on Twitch 12 months ago. Terrific. Yes, there's a tremendous community, not just here, but with the rest of the live coders. Check that live coders link over there. All kinds of great folks. People like we just added Dr. Mikachu. She's building games. She used to work on the HoloLens, and she's here live on Twitch, answering questions and working with folks so that you can learn from her while she's building and practicing something that she enjoys. Make sure you check out Dr. Mikachu. She's doing a really neat job over there. There's also the awesome developer streams link. Yep. What's interesting about that is there's a number of developers that don't actually talk to chat or answer questions. They just work. While they're tremendously productive, you have no interaction with them. That's something that I wanted to make sure that folks on the Live Coders team supported. I want to make sure that they interact with you, answer your questions, and maybe even take a pull request or 2 from you to help push forward whatever project it is that they're working on. This project is completely open source. You can submit pull requests if you'd like. Link to what? Which one, Taser? You've never come across any developers who work like that. The ones I've seen all interact with chat at least. No, there's a number of them that do not. So, the coders group. Oh, just click the live coders link. It's right below me, right here. On the, livecoders.dev will take you there. Yep, actually, I think you can just do... Boom, look at that command. Ha ha! And I should be able to say... There you go, there's Dr. Mikachu. Who didn't answer your question? What question, Pluto Nan? I try to make sure I answer every question here. But why not Alta Vista? Oh, yeah. See, you're just asking for that, all right?
Inconceivable!
It is. It's inconceivable that you would ask for Alta Vista. So the channel actor keeps our bootstrapper available here, and the idea was we were going to pass in to each one of our objects here the appropriate collection of features for that event. So get features for stream event, and we're passing in the stream event. So now we should get passed into our new message actor appropriately here. My chat, right? Where'd it go? Standard features, my chat room feature. This should be passed in. And we'll need to start configuring it, as well as make that widget available and have a location for that widget for folks to be able to use it. And I think those are what we're going to build today. Let's do it, huh? So let's run and debug and make sure that when this is created, right here, that we do get the chat room feature. As soon as we know that this piece works, we can then start lighting up some of the other capabilities. How do we pass our feature and its configuration over to the widget that's been requested? We'll figure that out. We will make that happen here today. All right, so let's test to make sure that this still works after I deleted all that code. Right? Come on, start up here. Come on, start up.
You have to ask me nicely.
We will absolutely do it live. How's it going, Robert Tables? So good to see you. Robert Tables is another one of the live coders, as well as, I thought I saw, yep, Rambling Geek's another live coder as well. Anyone else here from the team? I think that's it. I think that's it for now. I see a couple folks that I'd like to add to the team, and we may be adding very soon. We're going to do it live. Absolutely. We're going to always do it live. So there we are. This is Edge, the Microsoft Edge, the Canary edition that I use. And we're going to log in. This logs in using, there we go. It should log me in right away. There we go. That's me. That's me. All right. So if I click through to current channels and we join a channel, it should. There we go. Hey, I'm trying to go over. Why doesn't Edge go to the background? Is there like a stay on top feature now here that I'm missing? No. This should, right? It should go behind. Yeah, I know you can't work. Punk. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. Oh no. Okay. Get features for event. EVT is on command. Okay. Okay. So bootstrapper was null. What? It didn't create the thing. All right. So that is supposed to be created and passed in. God of Mellow, welcome. Thanks so much for joining us. The emote looks really good in dark mode. Oh, Robert's got a couple new emotes. Very nice. You need to put a border around it is what I've found works nice. You have the same issue with Edge. Yeah, something happened with Edge here where it's always staying on top. If that's the case, I've got to stop using Edge because that's not going to work. Stays on top. This says it's a tablet mode thing. Thanks so much for the follow, J Murph. I really appreciate that. Yes, this is the new Edge. This is the version of Edge that's built with Chromium as the engine. Yeah, it stays on top when it's in tablet mode. I'm not in tablet mode. Go away. Yes, thank you. Fine, go away. I'm not in tablet mode. Why does it think I'm in tablet mode? And I can't turn it off. That's weird. Yeah. So this is, might be a regression. Was fine before. I think you're right. I'm not going to dig too far into it right now. We'll figure that out later. Canary, it just started happening. All right, maybe it's a canary thing. So, this object hasn't been instantiated yet. Where was it? Where am I passing that in here so that it knows where it is? Well, I don't have, right? I should be able to just create one and stick it there. So, where'd it go? Channel actor. That's better, thank you. I could just, right, say equals new plugin bootstrapper. So that it's always there. It's a thing. It's never assigned to, and we'll always have it. No, it's assigned right there, you dummy. Try that again. Broken there too. All right. The video overlay for advertisements on Twitch for Windows makes me lose at least 30 seconds. That's, yeah, that's Twitch's thing. It does that to everybody that you don't have a subscription to. So, log in. Settings, system, tablet mode. Let's get this feature running. See, all right, there we go. So the features it does have, and yeah, features. Count is 0 on new message actor. But this, it should have picked up and found. So it's not assigning the appropriate features there right now. Interesting. Dev version is fine. You got the same on Edge Canary and Edge Dev. Well, Twitch Prime no longer does no ads across all of Twitch. But if you have a subscription to a channel, it does drop the ads from it. So, okay. Why isn't it finding... So let's go back to the plugin bootstrapper now. When it's trying to load these, well, first off, let's make sure it finds all of the features that we expect it to find, right? And down here, we expect it to find all the features there. So let's debug through and see what's going on there. You need Twitch Turbo to remove ads from every channel. Yeah, and that's like, what, $8-10 to Twitch, and you're paying just Twitch for that. Retro CRT.
CRT just resubscribed for 2 months.
Thanks so much for the resub. Alright, log in, do the login bit. I want to see it. It's interesting, it doesn't actually start activating or hitting any of these. Right, there we go. So the out type collection is, it didn't even find the I feature. Alright, so let's back up here. This isn't iterating through this. App domain, current domain. There are no context policies. Yeah. Yeah, thanks. Okay, assembly. Which assembly is this? Core lib. No. I want to have this stop when the assembly... I'm going to put a breakpoint on here, but I'm going to make it a conditional breakpoint. Right, check this out. On a condition, right? Assembly dot full name contains pixel bot. All right. So now I'll let that run. Condition for it. The condition was the error returned was inspecting the state of an object in the debuggy of type assembly is not supported. You stink. I can't inspect an assembly? Anyone used AutoFixture for unit testing? Somebody brought it into one of our other projects. And, oh boy. Now I've done it. Now I've broken Visual Studio. Yeah, that's really not supported. Oh boy. Do I like Visual Studio Code? Yes, I do. Visual Studio Code's nice. I have full Visual Studio here, so it should be... It's really broken. Oh my goodness. I locked that up hard. Yeah, look at that. And it won't even stop for me. That's better. Alright, try that again. The Edge Stay on Top seems to have started, at least for the Canary, on Friday with the 2.11 release. At least that's what you see from the forum. Yeah. Because it's Windows? No. No. There's something with the thread management that's going on here. If you aren't breaking Visual Studio on a regular basis, are you even coding? Right? Look at this. It won't even load now. Right? Look at that. Oh, man. There's got to be like a .NET running here in the background. Nope. Don't see that either. Ooh, we broke Visual Studio good. Google Crash Handler. No, I don't see .NET here. That bothers me. All these service hosts. No. Right, and this is toast. Yeah. Visual Studio is fried. Bummer. Right, and it's trying to do a whole bunch of things. Look at this. No. Don't suspend it, kill it. I said end it. When I say end task, I mean end task.
Do it!
Yeah. No. Won't. It will not delete. Whew. Try this. Just opening it and see if I can get it to open. Continue without code. Just open. Okay. So we got that. Go back to my project. Loading the project. Alright, that works. Alright. So, when last we were here...
60% of the time, it works every time.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a var in here and just grab the assembly name. Right? So this way, I'll change this and I'll put a condition on this that says name contains, yeah, Pixelbot. No, standard features. So I make sure I find the right one. See that? Now let's try it. Let's see, what do we got here? You used XUnit and mock, but I ran across it this morning. It looks useful for setup of testing. It was a little hairy for me using auto fixture. All right. So there goes Edge, and do the login over here. So joining. Okay, it did not stop, which tells me that it never hit my standard features assembly. But I thought we added that reference. Right? If I say app domain, current domain, get assemblies, where a dot full name contains standard features. It should find it. It's not finding it. Oh, I see how this works.
CJ Aliaga just resubscribed for 10 months.
Thanks so much for that resub. 10 months, that is fantastic. You can add a condition and do debugger break. I could. Hey, Ghost. Hello. Art for the Apocalypse. I'm running into an interesting scenario here that isn't making sense to me. Right. I think you're right. I'm going to have to do if assembly.fullname contains, right? I'm looking for that standard features library. It doesn't look like it's hitting it. Right, let's see if we can force that. I can get rid of this. Let's see if we can get it to hit it. Does it make intelligent assembly loading? Doesn't load an assembly if it's not used by anything. Maybe. Could be. If it's not a loaded assembly, right? Maybe we can just get the referenced assemblies. Maybe there is something there. Here we go. So, at CJ Aliaga, you're going to be in one of our new green hats that, right, the badges that folks get now, the loyalty badges on Twitch. Oh, look at this. The condition for breakpoint failed to, the condition was name contains. Oh, let me get rid of the breakpoint there. Oh, wait a sec. Which assembly is this? No, that's corelib. I'm going to remove that breakpoint. And it should hit here. No, it didn't. We never hit that assembly. So, if we never hit that assembly, maybe we're right where the assembly hasn't been loaded yet. So I think Stelzy might be right. Ghost asks, should I study C# in a C# nutshell? Yes, I think you should study C# because it is one of the only languages, one of the only frameworks that you can use to literally build anything. Games, websites, native cloud applications, IoT devices, and working with those. Applications for any platform you can use C# to build. I would absolutely go for using that. Can I help with a simple JavaScript if statement using a comparison operator? I'm not working on that type of thing right now. You're welcome to post a link in the Discord, and folks can take a look at that with you offline. But that's not something I'm going to open right now because I'm working on this project. If you catch me early in shows, we can do an Ask Jeff Anything, and we can take a look at something like that. But I'm already well into a project here. So, an assembly is not loaded until the first type is instantiated. Need referenced assemblies. Yeah. So right, I thought this would. So this is getting. So maybe if I go not current domain get assemblies, right? I can. I don't want to create instance. And I don't want to get assemblies. I want to get the if I say app domain, well, I think I want to be in the current domain, right? Not necessarily get assemblies, but and I want to execute assembly. I want to get the executing assembly, right? And right, what was it to get the executing assembly? .NET Core get executing assembly. Oh, look, I used Bing. Assembly get executing assembly. Right. It's not available, but it is now available. So I can say get entry assembly. Is the entry assembly the one I want to come in from? Or is it the executing assembly? Let's see here. So assembly is a way for us in .NET to reference the DLL. So I want to say if I get the executing assembly, right, then I should be able to get the referenced assemblies from here. Get referenced assemblies. And at that point, be able to go get them, right? But I need to make sure get... There it is. Now I'll be able to go find them, and I should hit this. But I want to make sure that that root assembly is in fact the start, the running, the thing, this assembly actually, come to think of it. Right? I don't need to say get executing assembly. I could say, right, get type will get me this type. Right, type of, and this is the plugin bootstrapper assembly. That's the root assembly. That's this assembly. That's this project. Now I can go get all the referenced assemblies. Ha ha! So why is that? Assembly name does not contain a definition for get types. For? What? No, that's different. Get referenced assemblies. Oh, those are the names. You DuckDuckGo'd with that with Bing. I know! Careful with this as which one you want to change depending on if you are running the app or a unit test. Right. And that's why I think by forcing it to this project will get me into this project. So when I'm running from the unit test, which we need to write at some point, we should be able to hit that. So now the assembly name, full name, okay, that's fine there. But we need to actually, right, have the loaded assembly. So I'm going to need to add assembly load. I'm going to have to load these? I mean, okay. Right? And then I can call this loaded assembly and be able to go through the types. And down here where I'm actually executing and getting those features, it should load that, force the load appropriately at that point. Oh, let's see if this works. The assembly based on type will be safer. Cool, thank you, Simon. I appreciate you helping out there. Big woo to you. All right, come on, load. Load.
You can do it!
Please do. All right, so here we go. Log in. And be really cool if it worked. Join the channel. All right, so here we go. The root assembly is, so Visual Studio lets me mouse over things and it'll give me the little hint as to what this is. That's the right assembly, okay. So I should now, oh, it didn't find rats. Yeah, all right, back up here. Back up just 1 second. Get referenced assemblies here. This, right, if I execute this in my immediate window down here, I should get a list of all the things that it's referencing. Yeah, look at them all. 50 of them. I don't think that's all of them. But, okay. And you know what? Part of me says I want to reference the ones that have Pixelbot in the name. All the ones that say Microsoft or System or stuff like that, ignore that. We don't need that. I thought, didn't I add that dependency in here? Projects. There it is, right there. Should have picked that up. Strange things are afoot. X.name contains pixel. Now show me what you got there, tough guy. Interesting. It's not even seeing or loading that other project yet. It's not even seeing it as a referenced assembly. That doesn't make sense. Right? Even though, I mean, look, these 4 projects that are being referenced here aren't loaded at all. Pixelbot Core, Pixelbot Games Guess Game, it's got that. This one, it didn't pick up. Nor this one, because they're not being loaded yet. They're not being referenced yet. Could it be that you have only made the project reference, but you aren't using it in code? You know what? You're right, because... Well, hang on. The Google feature here, that is being used. This one, right? It's used indirectly. Because this is registered and loaded. Find it. Channel actor, here it is. Actor create instance, type of, sheet type. So it's dynamically loading that one. So you're right, it's not directly referenced. So is the new linker ripping that out? Is it now being removed? Is the compiler stripping it out? I think you're right, Johan. Yeah. Simon, I think it is being copied over. The question Simon has is it being copied to the folder? Where is it? Open folder in File Explorer. Here it is. Let's look in the bin folder, bin debug, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, there's the Google stuff. Pixelbot Google. It's there. So is my standard features. But it's not being loaded for some reason. Okay. Why isn't it being loaded? Why? Strange thing. It is really aggressive about trimming, yes. Just try to force loading it by instantiating some classes or something. Okay. It's worth a try, right? Foo equals new chat room feature. No. Chat room feature. Right, so now it's being referenced. Even though it's not being actually used here, it's being referenced. Let's see if it... But like, you like watching. So what's happened here is we're trying to get these features that I'm declaring and placing in an external library. I'm trying to make sure that they load properly when they're being referenced, when I'm asking for them. So at this point, it's asking for it, right? So we want to see it, ask for it. There it is. Now it found it. So this is a feature that's now coming standard in. This is a feature that's now coming standard in .NET Core 3, where it's trimming references that aren't directly used, and it found that standard features library. So now when I step through, now it finds and loads it. Okay, so that should work now. If I continue stepping through the features to make here, it's going to identify exactly what to create. I'm going to pause down here. So it's now got our one feature, the chat room feature, that it's going to return. Why is it stepping into that again? It's doing that a lot. Okay, so now I've got that feature array being returned. And that is the chat room feature. Good. And we should be able to see what's going on here. Normally, a plugin pattern, the assembly is not a reference. Correct. Yes. There is a CS Proj feature to load assemblies used only via reflection. There is. I don't know it off the top of my head here. Server timeout without receiving a message from the server called while in state connected. Fine, reload and show me the things here. Go ahead, chat room. We should see your messages come through now. There it is. All right. So it is properly wired up. Yeah, there you go. Do the thing. So it doesn't show the widgets, but this is my log, and it's going to show me all of the channels that I'm connected to. It's not properly showing it the first time that I request this, but it does do the thing. So, let's we need to wire up the event and be able to pass that over. Right, we need to wire up the event, be able to pass that out. Assembly load context it like a successor to app domain. System runtime loader. The advantages and disadvantages: avoid binding on partial assembly names, avoid loading and assembly into multiple contexts, multiple versions of assembly, consider switching to the default load context. Yeah, I'm not going to read through this right now. Consider using the .NET Framework add-in model. Well, I'm not in .NET Framework. I'm in .NET Core. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to go into this right now. We'll need to figure that out later. You can add a one-liner to the project file. Okay. To share a common type factory and have the add-in self-register. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, this is new. I'm gonna have to come back to that. I've got it working for right now. It's not perfect, but it'll work for right now. We can make that better later. So what I need to do is I need to have a widget, a user interface component that's listening for and is going to receive that message coming out of the new message handler. Right now, it goes to the chat log. I want to be able to go into the feature and pass in and say a new message arrived on that feature and let it do whatever it wants to do with that thing, which may involve and will involve triggering whatever happens in the user interface. And that user interface, we're going to need to trigger through a SignalR context. Right. So if you find the way to do that, Simon and CJ, drop me a line, put an issue in the project, right? The project is right here. Here's the issues. Drop an entry in here for how to do that reference, so that we don't get it, so that we do get it picking up things that aren't directly used. But actually, I think this problem may go away in just a little bit. I think this problem's about to go away right now. Consider, if we're going to stand up our own SignalR hubs for each one of these widgets, we're going to register those. We're going to register those at make it go away. Yeah, let's make it go away. We're going to register those at startup time. Right? So if I add a new class over here that's going to actually do that trafficking. Right, let's just add the class. And let's call this chat room hub. Right? If this is a public class and this is a hub, I'm going to control dot on that. I don't want to add a reference to that DLL. What I'd like to do is add a reference to, not a project reference here. I want a package reference, include Microsoft, ASP.NET Core, SignalR. Oh, come on now. What's the version number on that? Can't do that with Bing. Boom! Search NuGet directly from, what's this thing called? That doesn't feel right. 7 months ago? Isn't there a preview version since that we're hitting? Yeah, DuckDuckGo. Quack, quack. I mean, I'll put the 110 in here. I think my friend Brady Gaster would tell me not to do this. But that's what we do here is we break things. But yes, DuckDuckGo. Love the DuckDuckGo. So now that should make this... I should be able to... Yep. Cool. Which means that I need a way to register this with the startup here so that map hub happens. Which means I'm going to need to load all those features up ahead of time. And have any kind of endpoint configuration fired through right here so that we add those endpoints into the application. Ooh. Okay. This is routes. We're passing iEndpoint route builder. If I make that a thing inside of extensibility, and I moved all of our extensibility stuff over here, right? And these return a void, that's fine. Register routes. The Michael Jolly.
The Michael Jolly just resubscribed for 8 months.
Thank you so much, Michael Jolly. I appreciate the resub. And we're going to make another donation to our tech charity. Thank you so much. I'll be talking to folks tomorrow about that. iEndpoint route builder. See, that's going to be a problem. Microsoft ASP.NET Core routing. So if I go over here and we want to add that package reference. Why am I doing it in this? Let's right click and add the package. Okay. Microsoft, that's not how you spell that. Microsoft ASP.NET Core routing. Go. There it is. Won't give me the pre-release. Routing abstractions. Won't give me the pre-release. Almost a green hat. Almost there. Yeah. If I do the... Also, this is a .NET Standard project. Should be all right. I'd like to get that. Nope. Right, if I just reference Microsoft ASP.NET Core. Right, that's the top. Look at that. I'm not even getting the pre-releases appearing. At all. Okay, there's... And that's preview 3. Look at your multicolored hat. Yes, you have the multicolored hat. Why am I not getting preview 6? Okay, so the question is, how do I get the routing feature for 3 without referencing all of ASP.NET Core? Oh, gosh. I feel like I have to. Yuck. Right? And I don't want to pull in a runtime either. Oh, man. All right. All right. If I go Netcore app, right? 3.0, isn't that what it says over here? Yeah. Package reference include Microsoft ASP.NET Core .app and let it resolve that. Right? That should now allow me to resolve this. Okay. Is this building properly now? I wonder how much lift these little propellers give. So much lift. So much lift. What? Core is not compatible with Net Standard 2. What do you mean? Oh, now these other projects, they can't be Net Standard. They need to be Net Core App 3. That's fine. What was the other one? That's fine. So I've just converted our projects so they're all running .NET Core, which is okay because I wasn't completely hooked in to needing .NET Standard and being on other environments. Let's see. Right, I haven't implemented that feature yet. Which I think is something... right, if I make this public, abstract... abstract void. Why don't you like that? If I get rid of this and we control dot that, good. So now I've got an abstract register routes. I should make that maybe virtual. That way there's something there. Could it be a caching issue? I don't think so. But I've got it working at this point. It's doing those things. So what I'm going to need to do is instantiate the plugin Bootstrapper. I'm going to need to create one of these over here. Not over there. Over here. And go through each one of the features and register their endpoints. That's not too bad. Right? So instead of saying foo new chat room feature, which I do need to do, right? Plugin, yeah. New. Oh my gosh, Jeff. New one of those. And just before use endpoints down here. Right? Get features for stream event, and I want to get them all. Right? Let's get rid of that. Control dot on this. Get my using statement. And I want to get all of them. So let's create an all. And let's put it really far out there. I don't care what it is. Right, so now that should return all of the features. Right? Channel configuration. We'll pass null. Because, yeah, I'm not doing any channel configuration at this point. I want to be able to go through and call register on all of these. So after these, no, I'm going to call that first, right? For each f in features, f dot not configure. Well, let's just say straight register routes routes. So now if there's any routes to be registered, it'll configure that so we will have those endpoints. So what I can do from over here is I can say routes dot tartar sauce. What do you mean you don't see that? No. I do have that reference. I do. Because this is Netcore app, I can change this to app. I can get rid of that. And you can't see it, it's behind me, it's restoring. So now this thing, get my using statement. And now I can say, oh, come on. I want to be able to say map hub like that. You go away. Here. Right? Map hub, come on. There we go. So it's not logger hub, it's going to be chat room hub. Let's call this chat room. Done. So where am I using Akka in this project? So I'm using that's come here. Here we go. So I have an actor. I have a whole actor system here that's managing all the chat rooms. This is the one that's handling the new message event. This is going to reach into this feature object over here and trigger it, notify and say, okay, I've got this thing you need to go and do whatever with. I could do that with messages across Akka. I'm dynamically creating and adding these features is the problem that I'm running into. So doing that dynamic creation has proven to be a little bit tricky here. So welcome, hello, to our new friends that are joining us here in the chat room. So I'm being passed in, and I tried doing this with a set of actors before, and it just didn't quite feel right. But at this point, I could do these features as actors, right? This could be an actor that we're passing into and we're managing. But then I'm passing messages back and forth across that when I really want this to be tightly coupled. Hear the event and fire it out. It's one at a time that I'm managing these. Oh, hello, welcome to our friend. Is that Imsefit? Welcome to you from Peru. Great to see you. I don't understand. No, that's going to do what I want it to. This over here, we will set up and we will allow our feature then to connect into this. So, I've done the register routes. At this point, I have the feature object. I want to trigger it and send the message over to it. So our feature, feature hub almost. Maybe we end up simplifying a little bit there. So this inside of here, right? We want it to receive a notification of the action and with that appropriate payload for who took the action and what information is along for the ride. And eventually we're going to need to pass through things like the emotes and the bits and all that stuff. So we're going to be triggering, is it an event or is it an action? Right? Right? Is this feature triggered? Action with some thing here, right? notify action. I don't know. Maybe there's something like that. And if I go over to base feature, this needs to be implemented. Come on. Give me a new one of those. There it is. Make this abstract. Abstract instead of virtual. Abstract says you, if you inherit from this, need to implement this thing. Abstract void. Thank you. You need to implement this thing, so that means over here in my chat room feature now, I need to implement it with the override keyword. This is a little bit of C# 1.0 features. Beyond harm. Who are you calling? Take it easy there. We want to be a positive chat room here. Who are you calling a noob? So I'm receiving that information. I want to now process it. I want to do something with it. At this point is when I want to notify that chat room hub, hey, this thing happened, go do something with it, right? So I would receive, I need that chat room hub's context so that I can call it. So, and I can pass through, here's the message, because I'm going to register this on a per channel basis. So, I've got one hub and I'm passing it through for this channel, and I want to pass it only to the people that are listening on a specific channel, because I want to make sure that I don't send stuff through for somebody else's channel to that chat room. Mm-hmm. Okay. Question, what is the equals greater than, the fat arrow syntax? Where do you see me doing that? I have that. Not here. I'll get rid of that. Over here. This. I'm bouncing around too much. Here, this one. That is right, this is it's a direct assignment that you can do on a property, so that it's a property that you're assigning so that it always returns this when you call get on that property. It's privately set right here, but it acts like a property. Publish trimmed true has to be in the project during publish to do assembly linker trimming in core. Okay. So if it's not in here right now. It's not. So if I say publish trimmed false, do I force that to not trim? So it creates it, it turns it into more of a constant, yes. It's not on by default. Okay, so something else is going on there. I'm going to delete that for right now. We'll do a little bit more digging into that. So I'm registering. So I've got that. When the feature is triggered, I need to pass through to that context, which means I need to have that context passed over to me, so I know how to interact with it. Right. SignalR has these things called an iHub context, and this one is going to be for the chat room hub. Right. So I'm going to call this hub context because that's the only one that I'm receiving here. Hey, I need that. Hub context equals hub context. So I'll have one of these. I'll create that. It's a read-only field. It'll always be available inside of this thing that's created. Yeah. Right. This is created inside of not my message actor. This is a little confusing, but on the channel, we're creating one of these and passing it along right there. So there's one specific for each channel. Okay. So over here, I know what channel I'm in, right? Because it's going to be passed in right here on the feature configuration. So I need you know more about .NET assembly linking than is entirely healthy. Yeah, that's a lot. From learning to code from programming books, asks PCK2. What about it? Books are where most people gain knowledge and skill. The challenge with learning programming from a book right now is that it takes so long to write a book that the authors who are writing the books struggle with keeping up with the change in the technologies. So you might find a Python 3 book out there. However, Python 3.7 is the current version that's out there. There's changes that have happened since that aren't necessarily in the book. And when you go through and you start following stuff for Python 3.7, by the time you're done reading and learning about Python 3.7, Python 3.8 is out. Same thing goes for .NET. Same thing goes for Java. You're going to be chasing the technologies. So, learning from video is a good way to go about it. What I would suggest more than anything is get the basics down. Get the basics about programming. What object-oriented structures look like. What some of the common features in your chosen technology are. But get ready to start always learning as you go after those features that are being built. JavaScript even more so. JavaScript moves so fast. JavaScript frameworks and libraries come and go in months. By the time you're done learning about React, folks have moved on to the next thing, Angular. They've moved off of Angular, Vue. They've moved off of Vue. They're now on to the next thing. Don't get committed to any one framework, especially with JavaScript. Trying to manage and support an enterprise application in JavaScript over the course of 2 years, forget it. It's a losing proposition because of how fast things move. You're going to need to be nimble, agile, and deploy updates very, very quickly if you're managing an enterprise application, and be ready for support to be cut from folks on that stuff very quickly. You will not get long-term support on JavaScript libraries. Yeah. It's difficult to keep up with those things. You will want to be learning. Unfortunately, with Twitch streams, all the good ones are gone in 14 days. I really miss updated tutorials on Pluralsight. Pluralsight will not update tutorials at all. In fact, Pluralsight purged the last of my courses from their library. Folks that are partners on Twitch, the content will be around for 60 days. I archive every one of my streams, and you'll find them over on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/C#Fritz. And on Friday, we're going to do a full day workshop. Get started with ASP.NET Core. And it's going to be hands-on. I'm going to pause. I'm going to take time for folks to walk through. I'm going to have my live share completely open for folks to be able to read and connect in. It won't be write access, but you'll be able to read and connect in and see all the code that I'm writing. So make sure you check that out coming up. Click the events button above and you'll see more about the 2 workshops. One on the 12th, we're going to do ASP.NET Core, and on the 19th, we're going to do Blazor. So let me look at some of the other things here. You find errors in example code. Yep. External motivation. If you don't like learning, unfortunately, for Twitch streams, yeah. Skill builds when you do something. Absolutely. Make sure you take some time and do hands-on things, right? Figure out a simple project that you want to walk through and learn. This is more of an advanced project where we're doing some very advanced interactions, dynamic creation of things. Starting back on Tuesday, we're going to go back to our schedule management application, which is a much more beginner level application that we're walking through to calculate schedules and things. Official docs can be a bit outdated, so the .NET documentation is now completely open source and available here on GitHub, so people are submitting pull requests as they change to keep them up to date. Very, very cool stuff. There are errors in example code, and that's why a lot of our samples are also on GitHub. So if you do find an error, log an issue. Somebody will review it, work with you to maybe submit a pull request if you'd like to contribute. If you do contribute, that helps towards Microsoft Most Valuable Professional MVP credentials. And we'll definitely send you our thanks and give you credit towards helping maintain that project. You see the list of folks who are responsible for documentation and projects on the official Microsoft Docs. Hey, Frank, good to see you. So, think Git Kraken. Git Kraken's a great tool. Make a ton of projects. Don't make a ton of projects. What I like to do, and PCK is, I used to manage fantasy football here in the States. That was a thing, and it still is a thing. So right, it's a way for you to keep track of athletes, and you have a game where you guess who's going to be the best performers each week of the NFL, the National Football League season here in the States. And it's a very simple algorithm, very simple interaction, and I had a standard application that I would write in each programming language and in each technology as I would learn them. Figure out what a standard, something that you know very well and you can build quickly, and build that in a programming language you know or that you're learning, and slowly add features to it and figure out what those new cool features are, so that as new features for that programming language or technology become available, update it with and use those new features. Hey, great, I built my fantasy football application. How do I upload images to a website? That's something where I want to be able to upload a logo for my team. Great, how do I build that? Take some time and figure that out. Now I have my little sample application where I've learned how to build something to make that work. And that's very much what you see me doing here. We're building something that's going to be useful, and we're learning along the way here. So, pick anything but a to-do list. Yes, Robert Tables. Pick anything but a to-do list, because a to-do list is too simple. Everybody has a to-do list, and it's something that
Throw me a frickin' bone here.
It's too simple. You don't have any business logic there to go through, right? We want to do something that's going to take a little bit of, allow you to explore different features and logic, right? So, sometimes it's hard to choose a technology when you have a lot of alternatives. Yes, it is. It's a quote from the Waterboy. I've got plenty of quotes from the Waterboy. Foosball is the devil. Yes, indeed. The trick with a personal project is finding a small enough problem that it ever gets anything finished. Yes, that's a very good point. Absolutely. So, all right, when my feature is triggered here, I'm going to implement that in my chat room, not in the hub, not there. So I'm going to have this feature triggered. I need to figure out exactly what that is. but I'm going to reach out to my hub context clients, and I want to grab them only for a specific group. Well, what's that group? That group name is going to be this channel that I'm listening on. Well, what's the channel that I'm listening on? We know that. I can override configure, right? The base configure says, well, go do the things in the base class that I inherited from base feature. Do that configuration stuff. Base feature configuration should have my channel name in here somewhere. I'm going to put that in here. I'm going to make that part of this. Public string channel name, so that I have that available. So what I'll be able to do in my configuration here is I need to, well, I don't need this. I don't need that now. I'll have in my base class, no. Yes. I have my configuration right there, which has the channel name. So just for those people that are connected to a group that is this channel name, I'm going to send asynchronously a message. And that message that I'm going to send is what comes out of this notify action. Wait a sec. I did this wrong, didn't I? You'd rather stick to HTML and CSS. Not bad. And we're going to do a little bit in just a second here. The trick with just HTML and CSS is you need to somehow generate it. You need to somehow interact with things that are going to be live or that are programmed. And that's where you're going to hit some JavaScript. And you're going to need to get a little bit more complex. You're going to use Sass, you're going to use less, and you're going to start generating CSS from something else. Maybe you learn TypeScript so that you can generate your JavaScript more programmatically and have better objects, better type management than JavaScript gives you to start with. I keep saying that word and the horses are very upset. I don't think I did this right. Feature triggered and a notify action. I don't think I did that right, did I? I don't think I did. I think I want it to be like this. Right? So that I can call notify action. Like this. Right? I think that's what I want. Let me go. It's over here. It's not going to be in that syntax. So what I'm doing is I'm letting it pass. Right? This is what's called a delegate. It's a method signature that we're passing in, so we can just reach across and say execute and do all of these things. Right, if I do it like that, I'm going to take this, right? Yep, implement, and there it is. So now, yes, Frau Blücher, that's her. So, actually, all right. No, I've overthought this. I've over-engineered this. Darn it. It's going to be feature triggered, and I'm going to have some sort of collection of arguments about this feature that are being triggered, right? Or the event triggered this. There's going to be some sort of collection of those that are coming out. So let's revert that and just make this something like that. Good, that's fixed. fix that. Roll that back. Right, because I'm just handling that. So now I can say send async. No, get inside there. Right? So this will send a message out to everybody on my page that's listening for that. Hey, pizza.
_pizza just resubscribed for 2 months.
Thanks so much for that. I really appreciate that. And we'll make a donation to our tech charity this quarter. All right. So I'm receiving that information, and this is where it's going to be live. This is the live interaction that you get with these widgets here, right? This is HTML sitting here, but the fact that some of these widgets open up and do different things, like up top there, you see, they're receiving some information. It's being pushed to them using a technology called WebSockets. And when it receives that information, it's changing the content of our HTML. So we're going to write a little widget that listens for this thing and goes and does that interaction. Johan asks, what's the deal with the Windows release on Monday? Full disclosure, I don't work on the Windows team at Microsoft. I do work at Microsoft on the developer division. I have not been told by any internal folks what's going on there. What I have seen is that it appears to be a tie-in to Stranger Things, to the Netflix series that was released. It's not resetting the version number, no. It appears to be a marketing crossover. Yeah. Version numbers and Windows are... yeah, they're a problem. They're a real problem. Okay. So I'm registering. I should have the hub available now. We should be able to route through it. Small Bacon!
Small Bacon just resubscribed for 5 months. And then...
yes, thank you so much, Small Bacon.
Wow.
I really appreciate that resub, and we'll make another donation to our tech charity this quarter. Moji, thank you so much for the follow. The follow train is strong. Look at that. So I have, if I've done this right now, I have a chat room hub that doesn't have a feature in it, right? It doesn't have anything going on here yet. And I have a chat room feature over here. What I need to add to my hub is I need a way to put people into groups. I need to be able to make sure that you are only getting the content for your chat room. So we need to override, there we go, the on-connected async, right? So what happens when you get connected? I need to put you in an appropriate group so that I know how to target you, the person that's requested the widget here, so that you only get the chat room messages for the chat room you're requesting. I get that appropriate filter there. Versioning and marketing. Yes. Those are two words that never should be in the same sentence. Simon, actually, it's a very interesting process that Microsoft goes through, because, and you see this with a lot of other organizations that do agile software management, agile software practices, where they'll say, oh, we're going to deliver features, we're going to deliver products when they're done. Well, at some point, you're never done a product. So you need to draw a line in the sand and say, well, we're going to deliver on this date, and whatever features are done at that point, that's what we're delivering. And that's what you're seeing Microsoft do, is they're drawing lines and saying, this is our ship date. Whatever features are done and completed for that, great, that's what we'll ship. Features that aren't done, we'll pull out using feature flags, and they won't be shipped. And we'll include those in the next patch release. This way, you get a steady collection of features that are delivered as you use the product in each monthly patch or quarterly patch for each season. So it's nice. Just realized that Akka is Java stuff. No, actually, well, Akka has a Java version. I'm using Akka.net, and actually, I should wire that up right now. Need to capture the group channel to listen for. Give me 1 second. We'll do that there. I don't have this anymore. Over here in my new message actor, this is what's happening that handles new messages. What I'm going to do when I have new messages received here is not just chat log or tell, so that all of my chat log gets this information for the entire application. For F in features, I'm going to say F dot feature triggered, and whatever that string is at this point. I don't know what this is, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass that information through. Right, so your display name and the message. It's not formatted, it doesn't have the emotes in it yet. We'll take care of that in a bit, right? That's feature to come, right? To do, ensure we pass badges and emotes through to the feature. Because the next feature we're going to build after this one is we're going to take the custom cheer bar that we were building with Fairy Wings about 2 months ago, and that's another feature that gets triggered based on a message. So it's not just this that we're going to pass through. So we need to abstract out what those arguments are and make that a little bit more robust. It has Java origins. Yes, it does. You're right. Software checking if the Windows version. Yeah, there's a bit going on there. Thanks for joining us, Johan. There is a .NET Core port. Yes, it's called Akka.NET, and that's what we're using here. Hard destination between package names and versions on one side and the vision and the business branding, marketing on the other. Yeah, I can agree with that. Yep. So the engineers are going to say to marketing, here's the features that we want to deliver, and hopefully they make it in time. But by drawing a line and saying this is when we're shipping, it's also forcing folks to make those hard decisions. This is what we're going to ship on this date and time. This is what we can finish, right? If you get halfway through, and you actually see this a little bit with the .NET team, July is their feature cut month. They're going to say, here's what we're going to finish delivering, and this is what's going to be in our release candidate. And they may cut some features, they may postpone some features, and that'll be what's delivered in the November 3.1 release. They're drawing the line for 3.0 this month. They're having those hard discussions this week, next week. So, very good things to manage as a project manager, deciding what's going to move forward, what's going to make that final release that is going to be supported, and what isn't. Very hard decision to make. That's fine. Ultramark. So, semantic versioning helps a little bit there. So now we're passing that information from this actor, right? This is receiving a message that says, I received a message. That sounds weird. Receives an Akka message that says, I received a Twitch message. And that Twitch message, you have the display name of the user, you have the context of the message, and we're going to send that over to all the features that are registered to listen for new chat messages. So it's going to be received into here, right there, and I'm going to send it out to this hub context for this channel, send that notification over there and say, hey, this thing happened. Now, this is asynchronous here. That's going to fire and we're not going to get a response from it. We should do this as a... No, I'm okay with that firing and forgetting, I think. Don't put your year in the version, it's a marketing thing. There's also a support context that comes with that. When you put the year into the version name of a product, like Visual Studio 2019, you know that you have 5 years support on Visual Studio 2019 by default. That's the support terms for Visual Studio. So if you're running Visual Studio 2019 in 2024, you know you're going to start running out of free support. There's extended support that's available for another 5 years. So you could run till 2029. Okay. right? These are the games that you play, and it gives you that implicit notice of how long support runs. So, bad things can happen when that separation is blurred. Yeah. So, you want them to collaborate. Right, the version number is actually, and it's becoming more and more visible to folks. The version number is right here. 16.2 is the version that I'm using, right? So that's definitely a thing. Just use Windows Notepad. Are you kidding me? Threnan. Don't just use Windows Notepad. You can use any editor that you'd like with .NET. It supports all of them with a command line interface. Check out Visual Studio Code. Check out Visual Studio if you want to be really productive. Check out OmniSharp. That's a plugin that'll run inside of VI and Emacs. Give you the type ahead IntelliSense if you'd like to use that as well. All right, so this should be sending messages over to the hub through the hub context for that group. I need to capture that hub context. So what I can do here is I can actually grab right, there's a way to grab, right, SignalR with the route. You can grab information off of the route. SignalR core. And I want to be able to grab like a path off of it, right? So there it is, right? So send that, but there's a way. Nope. Client's object. I want to get the group, right? And I don't want to pass it as a question mark on it. Not strongly typed. Not the name. Handle events for a connection. No. There's a way to do routing for this, such that I can receive more than that. You know? You know someone out there is a diehard Notepad fan and even has a tattoo of it. Who is that? It's not Mary Jo. Yeah, what is it? SignalR core hub route. I want to add a folder to it. I know I can do it with a query string. Right? No. No. That's dedication, all right. You know what? I'm just going to grab it off the query string. Group, no, channel equals, it's context. Oh yeah, look at that. Get HTTP context. Yeah, request. Query. If I go after the query string, I can get. Right, if I say channel. Right? No, I think they changed it to query, right? There we go. So channel is now a string values. No. It's a string values. Okay. So now I can say also context dot. I think I can add user dot. Oh shoot! How do I forget how to put them into a group. Base dot gets or sets the group manager. Well, groups dot. Yeah, add to group, and the name of the group that I'm adding. Well, it's going to be context connection ID. Oh crap! There we go. Connection ID, and the group name that I'm putting them into is channel. Right, so they're requesting a specific channel. So now when I send stuff out, I can target that channel, and only this group will get it. Used to do HTML and Notepad back in the day. Switched to Dreamweaver. Oh, Dreamweaver. So now I've got your channel. I've assigned a user to it. This should be async, and we should await that. There we go. And we'll await on that as well. Cool. All right, so now I've requested, I've got the channel that you're connected into. So now the widget that you're actually connecting in with needs to pass on the query string that channel information, and we'll receive it and be able to process it properly. I'm going to take a quick look here. I like to end after 2 hours to make sure that we support, we've got a full day of developer programming here, developer content on Twitch. And yep, I'm going to wrap it up right here. This is going to be the next piece. This is the person who's connecting in and requesting. My feature over here knows how to send messages through to that channel name. So if they've requested it, this one's going to send messages to it, that message. I need to do two things. I need to update so that I'm properly receiving this hub context. Allow the hub context to be passed in, right? And that's going to be inside of my plugin. My plugin manager needs to be able to do this. And we'll need to build that user interface. But I'm going to do that offline a little bit later today, and you'll see the results online. I want to make sure that we raid our next developer here throughout the day with live coders on Sundays here on Twitch. So I'm going to commit where I am right now. There we are. Let's wrap up what we've got. There we go. So this is all right. Connecting the feature with SignalR, and almost ready to build user interface. All right. There we go. And I will push that out. You can find this project out here on GitHub if you're interested in learning a little bit more. But I want to wrap things up. This video, like all my other videos, will be available on YouTube. I'm going to start pushing a bunch of videos a little bit later today to the channel over there. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining us. I really appreciate you spending some time with me here this morning. But we're going to set up a raid to head over to see our friend Suze Hinton, the No-Op Cat. So if you're a subscriber, grab that first line of text out of the chat room. That's our raid call. That's going to announce our presence when we get over there. If you're not a subscriber, that's okay. Go ahead and grab the second line of text so that we've got a great message we can drop in there and say hello to No-Op Cat and all of her friends when we arrive on that raid. I'll set up that raid. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me here this morning. And we'll see you on Tuesday evening. I'll be back, and I've got some more great content. On Friday, we're going to be doing our ASP.NET Core workshop. Make sure you click that events link up above and learn more about it. Get that information about when that's going to be starting and all the great stuff we're going to be doing then. Thanks so much. Yes, I am a Microsoft employee. You can check out information about me in the About section just below. Thanks so much. This has been great. I really enjoy it. Let's head over to here. And say hello to No-Op Cat for me. I will see you Tuesday. Take care.